All right, so I hope you can still hear me. Let me confirm one more time before I start. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we'll start with the drill-through. Now remember, I said the essence of using this feature is to provide detail of summary analysis, as to break down your analysis. So drill-through is a feature in Power BI that allows users to create a detailed report page that can be accessed by clicking on a visual or data points in a main data report. So which means that two different reports are involved. One is the one providing the details, while the other one is the one that have the summary report you are trying to break down. So just to run through some steps that are the benefits of this. One, it provides additional context and insight. It enables users to explore data in more detail. It enhances report interactivity. So this feature is recommended when you are developing your dashboard, where probably maybe in your main dashboard, you have the main, because of the limited space, maybe you have the main report, then you can decide to create these details pages. You can actually create more than one. Now, let's just run through some of the application steps, try to summarize it here. So the first step is for us to create a drill-through page. And to do that, you go to the model tab and then you click on new page, which we can as well achieve directly under on the taskbar. Now, if I go back to my dashboard, so we will start by creating the main report itself, which we want to break down in our drill-through page. Now, you must have a particular intention for applying this. It's not just for application's sake. You need to have drafted your analysis question. What do you want to achieve with the drill-through? Now, let's assume that we have we have a report. We have a report represented with this clustered chart. So this is our sales inventory. Let's assume here we are analyzing product line. We are analyzing product line against main report now, which is going to give us the summary of the gross product line. Now, let me enhance the visibility a little bit so that we can see the value clearly. All right, so now if you hover on any of this bar, you notice that it will give you the summary detail of that particular bar, which means that food and beverages generated a total of gross income 2,673.56. Now we want to break this down. So this is not enough. Let's assume you are asked, okay, break this down per city, because this report is currently presenting the total gross income generated from food and beverages. So now we want to break it down per state. We want to know, because we have three cities. We have three cities that will have contributed to this value. So let's assume you are asked to break this value down per city. So that is where the concept of breakthrough comes in. Now, another thing again we need to consider is we are breaking the gross income, which this report is presenting per product line. This same result is what we are breaking down into cities, which means that in our drill-through page, the model, the report that is going to present the breakdown, the detail, we still comprise this of the gross income, but instead of using product line, then it will now be city. So which means that one of the variable is constant across the both reports. Now, if you try to, for example, in your drill-through page or analysis, if you try to totally go off from the two variables, particularly the one that have the values you are summarizing, then it will not work. So that is the very key point we need to note. So for example, we cannot in our drill-through page say we want to summarize, we want to break down city against total. Meanwhile, in our main report, we are analyzing product line against gross income. So that is one very good point we need to take note. So the string variable can change. That is, we are breaking down the same gross income that we have in the main report per city, which means is another attribute entirely, but the gross income still remain the same. So that by the time we are done with the application of the command, when we come here and right click, depending on the version you are using, some of them you right click before you see the drill through, while some of them you will just hover on it, you see the drill through. Then that will not target that very detail page. Now I have to go and create that detail page. So let me just name it detail page. Now, like I was explaining here, I'm using my matrix, and then I am analyzing city. So this report is just to hold the breakdown. Then I'm also analyzing gross income. So if you look at the difference between this report and the other report, is simply the city and the product line, but the gross income remain the same. Let me enhance the visibility a little so that we can see it very well. Same thing, I'm still editing. Okay. Okay, so all we need to do is to select this particular report and add the common attributes to the drill-through tab, which is this. So what we are adding here is the gross income. So that is what we are adding. So as soon as you add it, you will notice an icon generated here, which simply means you have just established connection. That is, there is a variable here and a variable in the main report that are common. So that is what we are trying to explain here. Now, if I click here now and I go back to this, then right click on this, you come to read through. So you can see it now. Now, if we have not gotten it right, it will not show, it will not list this particular read through. And the moment you navigate at it, it will show you the list of the detailed pages. So like I said, you can create multiple detailed pages. For example, what we are doing right now, we want the breakdown of this value per city. That is one detail. I can also decide to analyze the breakdown of this product line, of the gross income per product line, per payment. So I can have different read-through pages. That is what different detailed pages. So it's not left for me. Whenever I come here, I'll decide which of the detailed page do I want to see. Now, let me apply this before we create another one. Now, once I click here, you see that on the page, and the report we are going to get there now is different from what we are having. So what you have right now is the breakdown of that same value for that food and beverages per city, because that is your projected detail that you want to achieve. So let me ask if you forget it. Did you understand it? Any question, please?
Mine is
questions.
I'll just speak for
Go ahead,
yourself.
go ahead, sir.
Don't worry, I was just kidding. I wanted to ask, like, how did the icon come up? I got everything, that icon aspect.
Yeah, the icon aspect came up at the moment you define your read-through tab or your read-through variable. You know, once the moment I drag the gross income and I added it to the read-through tab, the icon automatically came up. That is one of the way you know that you have just established connection between this detail page and the main results. Exactly. I'm going to do another one now, but is it clear to you first?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, now what we have here is we broke down the value, the total gross income generated from food and beverages, which is 2,673.56. We broke it down per city. Now, I want to we broke it down per city. So what I did, I just right click on that very one and then select what? Detail page. So detail page is the page you have created to present the breakdown. Now I'm going to come back and view the detail of another variable. So let's assume that we want to also, I hover on this, I think we are having familiar value. Let me get the one that the value is actually far from the first one. Good. Now, this is health and beauty. And the total gross income generated from this product alone is 2,342.56 kobo. Now, I want the breakdown of this per city. So if I right click on this now, and then I navigate to my read-through, now you notice that instead of, it will not give us the breakdown of that value. Look at it here. So this model is actually available to present the detail of, hello, can you hear me? Are you with me? Okay.
Yes, I'm with you.
So if that is clear, now I want to create another detail page. Now, mind you, you can have other report. It's not only this report that could be here. Let me create maybe card. You know, remember that whatever you have automatically is connected to any other report. So let's assume that I want to create a card here using my measure, a card of. So here, a card of counting the total transaction. So as usual, so let me choose the column I want to use for the counting. Since I'm using number counting, let me use this. So I'm just using it to show you that given the breakdown, it is only the detailed model that you must have. You can have other reports there that can be regulated. So let me output my card. So let me have it somewhere here. Add my card analysis. So what you are seeing here right now, this 152, what it represents is that this particular report that you just broke down now has this total number of transactions inside that main report. Now let's go there and break and drill through again. Let's go to our main report and drill any of the products. So let me break this down. So you can see that it's also regulating. So whatever report you have here in this dashboard, the moment you drill through from the main page, it also analyzes it automatically. Any question, please?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, so what is your question?
Okay, I observed that when you right click, it takes you to detail page.
Yes.
So the question I want to ask is this. What I assume from what I'm seeing from the demonstrations you're making is that if you even create more pages, it will not give you the assuming if you have detail page 1, detail page 2, when you right click, it will still give you the option to select any of the pages if I'm right.
Oh, okay. Now look up. Let me decide not to have all my detailed analysis here. Let's go to another page. And then let's say here, okay, let's say page 2, that is the name. Now let me create another detailed analysis. Let me use, for example, table here. And what I want to output, remember, one variable must be constant. You can't change the gross income. So I'm giving the breakdown of that same gross income per gender now in this detail page. So I would like to view the breakdown of each of those product line summary based on gender, because the one we did now is for city. So I'll create this, and then I'll also make sure that I include the common variable. That gross income must not change. If it changes, it means you will not be able to connect the two reports. Now you select it, make sure that you are on that very report that you are using as your detail model. After that, you now come to the visual section here. You add the same gross income as your drill through heading. Now, once that is done, you can see also that I have the icon generated. Now, let's go to the main results now, the main page. Let's go to the main page here. Now, if I right click here now and I navigate here, you can see the list of all the pages that I intend to give the breakdown of this report. So it's not left for us. If I choose here now, to take me to that page instead of the initial one. And then what you are having right now is the breakdown of that figure per gender. Is it clear?
Very well. Very well.
Okay, so you can have as many as possible. Mr. Austin and the Marvelous, are you following so I can move to the next aspect of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No,
Now,
Marvelous is not talking. No, I wish sure she's on the call.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to show us how to create a navigation button, which is not only apply for this purpose. You can also apply it in other scenarios. What do I want? I don't want to be right-clicking and selecting read through. I want to create a button somewhere here that each time I want to jump to any of these pages, I want to create a button that will carry this description or this, so that if I want to drill through, once I select a bar here, then it will highlight each button, and then once I click on the button, then it automatically takes me to my detail page. So that is the next thing I want to show us now. So it is also is an optional thing actually, because you can still go through the right clicking, but I feel it is more, it's going to be faster than you right clicking. So how do you do that? You simply go to your inserts. Like I said, this is not limited to only this drill through. You can use it across other dashboard where you want to like create a button, maybe from one of the page to be targeting other pages. We did something like this, I think in Excel. So now what I'm going to do is that I'll make sure that I'm not on this. Then go to insert. So from insert, you come to button. Now you select this button, you go to, these are different buttons you can create, maybe a button for back, like that one we're having as soon as we added the drill through tab. Now, but I need the blank button, and that will give you the button here. Now take the button and put it where you want it to be. Now, remember that every element has their own visual settings. So once you have added the button, you go to shape. So from shape, I'll go to style. So from style, I want a write-up on it, and the write-up will be detailed, or click to view detail. So you can use any description, but at the moment it's not on. So all I need to do is just to turn it on and write my text. I'll simply say click to view details. Click to view details. So you can see it showing up. So let me also make it more visible. Depending on the size of the button, you can. Then the color, I want to make it this color. To align it, I can choose my alignment. Then my field, maybe I want a kind of background color for it. If I don't want to use a basic color, I can use an image. If I want, I add shadow. If I want borderline, all these are basic things we know. Maybe just to like make it more visible, you can increase the line. You want to add shadow, you want to add all this. Then you go to action. Once you are through with this, remember that, okay, let me finish this. You can go to action, turn it on. So under action, that is where you will specify when they click on it, where it will take them to. So you come here and select drill through. So you can see that if you have not created the drill through, you will not have access to this. So once you select here, it will, you have already targeted as the page where it's going to be. Then the destination, remember that we have two different drill through pages. So which of them are you targeting with this button? I'm targeting this. Now, if somebody hover on it, the way it's showing this information, I want to program my own there. I will say what? To tip. So when they hover on it, you say what? Maybe view details. So once you are through with this, so that is all you need to do. Now let's verify it. To verify it, if you click here now, it's not going anywhere because you have not selected anyone. So all I need is just to click here. You see that as soon as I click here, you can see that it's active. If you don't click on any of this, it will not be active. So you must select, okay, I want to drill through this. The essence, like I said, is that we don't want to right click and start tracing because I've already programmed it to a target page. So once I select the tab, then I will just hold down the control button. Now you can see once you hover on it, I want us to observe something. Once you hover on it, you will see that that tooltip that we program, which is what view detail. Now, just to give an idea of what you are about to see. Now, if I click on it like this, it's not going anywhere. Why? Now, it's some version of Power BI. Just clicking on it will take you. Now, once you notice that you are clicking and it's not going, then add control button to it. Hold down the control button and click to take you to that page. So you can see it now. Automatically, it has connected us to our detail page without us having to right click and selecting drill through. Is it clear? Is it clear to us, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, now we are going to do a kind of demo now. So I will enable you guys to share. How many of us are joining with laptop? Everybody, right? So I can pick anybody I want to pick.
I joined with phone.
I know you will rush to join with phone.
I joined the phone too.
You join with phone, Mr.
But yesterday I had my laptop.
Mr. Austin.
I'm on phone. I'm on phone too.
Austin is not true. Austin is not true.
Okay, now Austin, please share your screen, and then let's see you doing some of this. Let's do one. Let's do one. Let me confirm that we understand it before I go to the next topic.
I agree.
Share your screen, please. Mr. Austin, are you coming up?
I'm already up.
How come I'm not seeing you? Okay, I think I can see you. Okay, you have already gotten this report before, right?
Yes, I've already established this one.
Okay.
That's the detail page.
So the detail, okay, that is you
The
summarize.
report.
Okay, you
Yes.
have
Summary.
viewed the state, have you?
Yes.
All right. Now create the button, add the button since you have done this.
Okay, what did you use in I think I didn't get that first this thing you use adding the button. Which slides are that? Or is it a text box?
It's not
Insert.
it's not visual. Go to insert button.
Insert.
Insert insert.
Now remember that you are not creating the button here. You are not creating the button in your detail page. You are creating it from
Is on the main page, yeah.
Main page.
selected blank, 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 under blank. Yes. Then take the button to somewhere else. Good. Then from your visual,
Yeah.
no, you are done there. From your visual, click on shape. Yes. No. From your visual section, from your button, you can see button. From your visual section, you can see button. You can see shape. You can see rotation, style. So start with shape. Start with shape. You can even access other ones from here.
Okay.
You are not touching that place. Go to style. Go to style. Go to style. Don't want to do anything there. Go to style. Under you see rotation style. Rotation. No, style. You should go to style. You can work on those things on your own later.
That's where an Apple test.
Yes. So type the description of the button. Okay, keep going down. Just skip all this one. You can take care of those ones later. Let's go to where you add some action. Go to action. Action. Yes. Click there. Then select Read through, yes. Then destination. All right. So I think you are good to go. Let's go and confirm it. Now select. Okay, you can add maybe hover text. Type it in the first one. Say view detail. Okay, let's go and apply it and move on. Then select one of the bar. Just go outside. Click. So let's go and test run it. Now select, click on one of the bar, click on one of them and say good. So it's highlighted. Now go and right click, go and click, hold down the control button and press the button. Hold down control button on your keyboard. Good.
It's working.
All right. So on share, let's proceed.
Why? I have a question.
Okay.
Does it have to do with your version of your Power BI version? This one, you don't need to add control, or it happens at times.
Yeah.
Like it clicks.
It depends on the version. It depends on the version. Mr. Austin, you can share.
Okay.
All right. So like he was asking, it depends on the version. Even if you are using a lower version of Power BI, you will not have to right click before you can see the drill-through. Just hovering on any of this, you see the drill-through. So in case your own version is reacting that way, once you hover on it, it will drop down the drill-through. And once you follow it, you see this and click. So depending on your version. So I think that was what is one of those things that I did not took note of that day when it was actually working, but we were expecting it to, as we hover here, you see it. So we're actually we were supposed to right click and then go to what? Drill through. So you can see everything that we did that day that we did now. So that was what I discovered later, that the version have changed. Initially, before, once you right click like this, it will show. And when I try the one on my system, which is one of the oldest one I've installed, it just hovering on it, you see it. Okay, so now that brings us to the end of drill through as another concept of analyzing your data, your dashboard. So the first assignment here is you are going to, see how you can incorporate this in your either existing dashboards or you develop another one. I want to see you using the drill through concept. And if possible, you can have more than one drill through pages so that, and also create different buttons for each of them from your main page. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
You get that? Okay, so that is your first assignment. Now we move to the next visual, which is Power BI map. I don't know if we have done Power BI map. Have we done that before?
No.
Somebody should confirm.
No.
Okay, so the next one is Power BI map. So Power BI map visual allow users to create interactive map to display geographic data. This one is also very important. So this can serve as your slicer, but there are certain conditions that your data must meet before you can apply the map. It's not every data set you can actually slice through or analyze with the map. The emphasis, it must be a geographical what? Data, a data that have certain attributes like states, like country, like streets. So your data must have a column that is capturing maybe this geographical location before you can use it. So let's look at some of the benefits of using this. One, visual, it can be used to what? To visualize geographic data. So take, for example, during Nigeria election, when you see this guy analyzing votes, are probably casts or casted from different region or maybe different states. So instead of showing us the value, they will just project it with map, such that when they select data states, it analyzes all the votes a particular party got from that region. When they select another state, so that is how it works. So it breaks down your data into different regions. Now, another benefit is that it helps also identify trends and patterns. And then it will help us to enhance report interactivity. That is what I intend to put here, interactivity. Now, the map visual types, we have the big map, we have the shape map, and then we have the map control. Now, let's look at the application step, which I've summarized here. So we have about 3 different steps to observe for us to successfully use this visual. One is we ensure that the data include geographic column, which I mentioned before, like country, like state, like city. Thank God the data I'm using has city column. So if your data does not carry any of these kind of headers, you cannot think of using map. Step 2, you add your map visual. How do you do that? You go to your visualization section, select the type of map. Then another step is choose map type. So you have to choose the type of map you are using, and then so on. Then you also have some settings to be observed before the map can actually display its value. So if I switch back to my Power BI, let's assume that I have this report here, and then I want to simply duplicate it. I want to simply duplicate it, copy, and then paste, and then convert it back to table, a duplicated copy. Now, let's assume that we have this number of reports here, which I want to filter using the map slicer. Like I said, you can also see, you can use the map in the place of slicer. Now, the first thing you are going to do, you are to set up the map. And how do you set it up? Let me try to project it so that you know why the setting up is very important. And please mind you, you must be on the internet before you can see the impact of the map, because it has to synchronize your country API. Because the data we have here is the city that we're going to use here. Those cities are not in Nigeria. So once I'm on the internet and I put my setting in order, then it is not left for it to synchronize that as where that Yangon is, the country where the Yangon is, and then probably the city in that region that has those name, Yangon and Mandalay. So that is why you must be on the internet. So once you have ensured that, let me try projecting one and see if you're going to get results. So these are different types of map. We have the field map. We have what? The map. So for example, if I click here now, let me activate one of them as the visual I want to use. Then one of the steps says you add data. You add data. Now, what's the criteria for slicing across this report with my map must be a data that have a connection between this and this. Now, what I'm analyzing here is a gross income per product line, and the same thing that I'm also analyzing here. So, in other words, I can slice through this per city. That is what, once I select Yangon detail, Yangon city here, this report is expected to present this analysis from only that selected city, and then the same thing to this. So which means that I have to add city inside that map visual. Now you see what you get. This is the reason why you have to do some setting. You cannot just come here and then select your header and then you expect to work until you put the setting. Now, if I want to see the content, then I have to go to my file, and then from file, I'll go to this option, and setting. So from here, I go to what? Option. Then from option, I will be able to set, I will go to security and then activate the control. That is what I mentioned in that slide, the control. So you go to security. From security, you can see the reason why it did not work. You can see that it's not checked. Map and field map visual is not active. So all I need to do is just to activate it and click OK. Now, if I go back to my report now, and probably what? Remove this and then project it again. So let me click on this. Then add the city, which is the one that qualify for the map. Now you can see it's loading the API. Once it's ready, you are going to get the map automatically. So you can see the map. So this is the country map where we have those Yangon and the rest of them. So you can see Mandalay here. So if I click on Mandalay, that is supposed to analyze Mandalay's only information here. So every map has its own visual. So let me go to setting and probably do something. So let's say under control, I want to activate zoom so that I can zoom to a particular place I want. So I can zoom now because now let me select it. So all this country, if I'm using that salary pay slip where payroll, where I have Nigeria country, it would have been better. So I'm looking for I think that country name is this. So just for you to try to look for any of them. So I think the best option is for you to use that salary pay slip where you can be familiar with your country. Try to look for, maybe I've not selected the right country where I have those Yangon and the rest. That is what is happening here. So Mr. Austin, I think you need to share your screen. You are using that salary payroll to avoid me loading data. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So let's use that one because we are familiar with those countries. So let's use that one. Quickly share your screen. Just add the map to be easier for us to navigate. Okay, so just add the map somewhere. You can ship this one to the other side. Have you done your setting? If you have not done the setting. Oh, file. Then good. Option. Security. Go down. Then good. Now also add that okay. Anyway, this one only can actually give it to us. But I wanted it to add. Yeah, go back. Good. That's yes, add it, check it. That option, check it. Yeah, good to go. So you are adding state here. You are adding states.
States
Yes.
on this.
You have state now. Yeah. So let's wait for it. Good. Now, these are, can go to that, yeah, zoom, go to that. These are Nigeria states. So we can now click on, just zoom and select one of the states that have probably record in our data set. This is Kogi State. Yeah, click. Are you clicking?
Kogi.
Yes. Click. Let's see how it's going to slice your current report. Have you selected anyone at all?
No, I'm looking for the Kogi.
No, I will say Kogi as you were hovering that time. Okay, just look for anyone. Even though not Kogi, just look anyone you can easily see. Go and click. This is Kaduna, right? This is Kaduna. Good. Now check what happened on your report. So
it changes.
Good. So that is what is expected to do. So once you click on any state, it will give you the analysis only from that state. Okay, so that is what actually, now you can unshare. I think we have confirmed it there. Okay, so any question before we take the last command? Any question? Do we have?
No question.
Okay. Mr. Solomon, hope you are okay with this.
I'm trying to be okay, but I know when I watch the video, it will be perfect.
All right, so let's also know the essence of all these visuals. It's not just having their knowledge. You should be able to sit down as a data analyst and factor out in which scenario you will involve them. That is the creativity aspect of them. Having their knowledge, knowing what they do is one thing. Another thing is knowing when to use them with the kind of analysis when you are building dashboard. All right, so if that is clear, let's take the very last topic, which is Power BI gauge. Now, the gauge visual in Power BI is a visualization tool used to display progress towards a goal or target. Now, we did something like this the other time. KPI, good. This one is just like another version of KPI, which helps us to monitor or to measure the level of progress you have made within a time interval. But it's another concept. So it provides an intuitive and interactive way to show performance metrics. Now, let's look at the types of gauge visual. We have the radial.
Sir, we can't see your screen. No?
Jesus. All these ones
I can see the screen. No, I can see the screen. Also,
I'll see. Maybe you should share your own.
Are you unshared?
I haven't shared. I'm only seeing. I'm not seeing what you're showing on your list.
Okay, let me
I'm only seeing.
let me reshare. Let me. Can you see it now?
Good. I can see it now.
Okay, so I started with the definition. I said it's a visualization tool used to display progress towards a goal or target. So which means that we are going to also set a target, just like the way we use KPI. There must be a target. And then you now measure that target with the actual value. That is how you can actually measure the performance of your business or the data involved. So it provides an intuitive and interactive way to show performance metric. Then I was talking about types of gauge visual. We have radial gauge, circular gauge, with a needle indicating progress. We have linear gauge, horizontal or vertical bar showing progress. What are the key features that are involved for you to implement this particular visual? One, you are going to set your target. So there should be target value or goal. Two, you are going to have your current value that will be compared with the target, display the actual progress. Then this one is optional. You can set your minimum and maximum value, and then you can define your range. Then color, you can customize the color. You can use different color to probably explain your gauge. Then you can also label the data. Now, I highlighted some steps that are involved for you to use the gauge. So the first one, you go to your visualization section and select it as a visual. Then step 2, you choose your gauge type, which could be radial or linear. And then you have to drag your field, your target field. You have to create your target, your minimum, your maximum field using measure. That is what you are going to use to create your target, your minimum, and your maximum. Then, of course, you can adjust the gauge orientation, size, and color. Then step 3, customize data label, add data label to display additional information. Then you can also format those label, text, color, and position. And then once you hover over the gauge for tool bit, you can also do that. Now let's go to our dashboard. Let me create it in my detail page. I think I don't have enough report there. So let's say this is where I want the gauge. And like I told us from the beginning, any other activity or report you create here will also be analyzed by your drill through. So the idea is that I want the gauge to be here. So whenever I drill through from my main report, as it's affecting this, it should also what? Tell me the percentage of the target met and the actual value for the specific value or analysis. So this is where I want to project my gauge. Now, like I said, you start by selecting it. This is it. So once you click here, you have the visual. Now, there must be your sales value, which is the actual or the current value that I mentioned in my slide. Your sales here, what are you analyzing? For example, now we have gross income. Let's say we want to analyze our gross income. So you simply add it to the value. Now look at this. Once you are on the visual, I want us to work with this session because this session captures all those fields that are required. So this is your analysis field, which must be value, must not be text. This is where if you have created your minimum measure, your maximum measure, then your target measure. So if all of them have been created, now let's assign the one we have right now, which is the gross income. I'll drag it and put it here. So you can see it. So this is the total. Now your minimum is 0. Your maximum is already what? Projected by default. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I mentioned something that there will be a needle, something like needle that will be pointing to, that will analyze this gauge. And that is when you introduce your target. Now let's go and create a target. Our target, the current value right now, that is what the total gross income generated, maybe based on this particular drill through that we have analyzed here, is this. Now, we want to set a target of 3.7, for example, so that we know the percentage of it that we have achieved and the percentage we are yet to achieve. That is the essence. So, as usual, I will just quickly go there and create my measure. And my measure will be named. So, my measure is target. And the target, I can choose to calculate. I can have a calculated target depending on you. So let's say our calculated target is a sum of, our calculated target is the sum of gross income, is the sum of gross income needed to close this bracket first, the sum of gross income times, maybe I have a particular ratio that I'm using, maybe times 2.3, 3.4. So this is, let's say you are given a formula. So where you are not given a formula to calculate the target, then you can just simply type the value there. So I can on my own manually type instead of using this function sum. I can just manually type maybe 3.7. That is if I have an idea of the target as a value. But if it has to do with calculation, then you create your measure for it. So for example, now we have successfully created our measure. Now I will come back and click on this visual so that I can access the field. Now the target we just created, this is where we are adding it. So I will drag the target and add it here. It will analyze on the, so I expected it to, so let's see the setting if, because supposed to have shown us that needle. Let me see. So the target label, call out value. Just want to be sure that we have all the settings in place. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create another measure to confirm. So let me remove it first. Or let me just edit that previous measure. Let's say our target is 3.7. 3.7, let's say that is our target. So let me reassign my target value. Okay, so what we are looking for, that's supposed to have generated the needle, telling us the portion that is remaining. Mr. Austin, please kindly share and do it over there. Let me see what your own will bring. So minimum and maximum are actually optional. I wanted to confirm the first one first. So Mr. Austin, quickly share. Let me see. Let me unshare. Now just create your target. So let's say we have 140. This is counting a bit. Now set a target of 160. Right, good.
It's working.
Okay. Okay, now.
Got it.
Okay, that is your target, Abi. Is it 200 you put?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 200.
Good. So is it clear to everybody?
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
I didn't hear what you just said. Is it clear?
I said it's clear, but I was thinking a needle with display. We are looking for a needle.
Yes. I don't know why it's not displaying, but it's supposed to display.
You're looking for what?
There's a needle that's supposed to display. Now, there's a needle that's supposed to point out here. Point out to indicate.
Well, there was something showing on Mr. Prosper's on by this blue side. It was showing the target, but it was showing in red. Sorry, in color.
Let me add the target again. Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
You can see it here. I wasn't seeing it before.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes you will see this needle. I think it's because of, let me, because this portion, okay, the analysis I'm doing here, this is affecting this. So let me see if I can return everything.
The needle
So
is
you
has
can see
come
that.
now.
You said? Yes.
The needle has come.
Okay, in your own, right? Okay, let's see it.
Yes. The reason is that there is a field where target value is placed. That's not where I place it. I place it on the maximum value. So I remove it from maximum value and place it on the target.
Let me see. Let me see my own. Was it maximum value that I placed my own actually? Okay.
I think so. If you put it on target, the needle will appear. Now you can see the actual value, the target. The target is where the needle is.
No, my own is target. Wait, let me see. I'm actually placing my own on. That means you are the one that did the wrong thing. No, I placed my own on. If you can you see my script? You can see my script. Look at where this target value now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This target value. My own is not just bringing it. But let's see your own. Let's see your own. Okay, share your own. Let's see.
I'm sure. Let me
No. It was showing this.
let me share it again. Look at it.
Oh, I'm no longer okay. Now let's see your owner. You can this is how it's supposed to display. Correct. Now, that is where my own is now. It's just my Power BI that's not giving me based on my settings. That is where my own is. Okay. Any question, please, everyone? Any question?
How about this minimum value and maximum value?
Okay, yes. Well, just
You-
create measure for them.
Okay.
Create measure for them. So you define your maximum and minimum. They add them to their respective field. There you see the updates. So depending on the target, if they include minimum, maximum, that's why I say they are optional. So if minimum and maximum values are not involved, you can just work with the actual target given.
Done.
Okay. So you can see that we have the both definition now. What was your maximum value?
300.
What is the minimum? 100, right?
100.
Good. So it will now help you to measure your progress. Any question, please? So you cannot share, Austin.
All right.